American Legion Baseball is back in Beckley after a 5-year hiatus as Beckley Post 32 kicked off its season against Buckhannon Post 7 in a doubleheader. And you recognize a lot of the players on Beckley's roster, so let's get into the highlights. As Beckley looks to open its season with a W, but in the first, team is already down 1-0, but until Post 32 starts to play some small ball, Blake Stratton swings at the third strike. Buckhannon gets the out at first, but Jacob Meadows comes in from third to tie right back up. Same inning, Reese Patterson grounds out to second. Bryson Redmond, though, comes in from third. Beckley takes the 2-1 lead. We go to the second. Post 32 started to mash, starting with Grayson Kesterson, who drives one all the way to the wall and right. 2 runs come in for the 2 RBI triple. A little later in the inning, it's Meadows up, and he hits one back up the middle, and it goes right by the second baseman's glove. That'll score 2 more runs for Beckley to take a 6-1 lead. They weren't done in the inning. Reese Patterson back up, and he smashes one deep to center field. It's not a home run, but it'll get all the way to the warning track. And here's a fun sequence where Redmond gets caught on a small rundown, but the throw home is too high, and Bryson is in to score Beckley up 8-1. Still in the second, Adam Richmond up, but it's a wild pitch, and Reese Patterson comes in for Beckley to lead 9-1. To third we go. Post 32 wasn't done scoring on the day. Bryson Redmond cranks one into left. It'll bounce all the way into the corner. That's a 2 RBI double, bringing the Beckley lead to double digits. But Buckhannon wasn't going down easy. Dawson Temmie launches one all the way to the wall and right. That'll bring in 2 for Post 7 to make it 11-3. We'd stay in the fifth. When it's 11-4, Trenton Hunt chops one to second. Beckley throws over to first to get one out, but the ball gets away. 2 more runs come in, and just like that, it's an 11-6 ball game. In the bottom of the fifth, it's 11-7 Beckley, but Meadows does his part to extend the lead a little as he chops one into right for RBI knock. It's 12-7. Again in the seventh, it will get a little scary again for Beckley. Jaden Westfall grounds out to short, doing his job getting the RBI ground out. It's 12-9. By the end, Gavin Bennett shuts the door down. Beckley wins its season opener over Buckhannon 12-10. As for game 2, Beckley goes on to win 11-1 over Buckhannon in 5 innings, avoiding the same scare from game 1, opening the season with a doubleheader sweep. As here's head coach of Beckley, Jordan Meadows, explaining how excited he is to be coaching and to be bringing the American Legion Baseball League back to Beckley, and the ultimate goal for the team this summer.
An awesome experience because, I played there for 3 years, so from 2013 to 2015, and it was some of the best times of my life, and we were like, we got to make this stuff happen, and I think I got the best of the best guys in the area, graduating seniors and college freshmen, and the goal was to make it to the state tournament, to win the area, and just having these guys just get a feel for the, I guess, college atmosphere of baseball, and just bringing good baseball back to Beckley.